Computer. Okay, guys, welcome to the 2026 summer camp training. Hopefully, it will take it just an hour or less. Um, but we're just basically, you know, each summer camp. I think I've explained this before. What each summer camp is, and each 3 hour session, it's rather a class. In each 3 hour class, it's basically two ASEs in 2 hours. And then the third hour is going to be doing an activity related to that theme. So everything is kind of lined up. In the dash, you should be able to see all of the recipes for the entire week. And then also activities in the handbook, an actual handbook for that summer camp, as well as just the recipe summary. So the goal would be that for you guys to do all the shopping at the beginning of the week, and um, then you can kind of go through each day in the handbook and just make sure you feel comfortable with everything. But yeah, if it just should be similar to ASC for at least 2 of the hours. I will get you guys credit cards today, or I'll order those. Those usually come fairly quickly, and they can get delivered to your house. And so then you can just start. Please just use those to buy groceries. We've had some instances. It wasn't on purpose. It was an accident that somebody used it for something else. But just please try to use it just for the summer camp groceries.
Okay.
Um, okay, so here we go. Let's start the training. Let me know if you guys or when you guys see that. I think it's
I see it.
you
I
guys see
see
it?
it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So welcome. I'm not good at icebreakers. I think the ice is broken, so we can skip that. We'll go through the overview of camp basics and themes. I'll show you the camp handbook. I'll show you the process for budgeting and submitting receipts rather and then wrap up with supplies distribution, which I've already given you guys. Please just, if you can, double check with a little bit of time before the camps just to make sure that I've given you everything. If not, I can arrange to try to give you anything that you're missing or if you have any questions about anything.
Okay.
Okay, so we have, I think there are 6 themed camps. Again, most of them are 3 hour camps, and then 4 to 5 days a week. Most of them are 5 days a week. Again, it's 2 lesson plans and then an activities craft plan in the third hour. But the 2 lesson plans should take the 2 hours, the first 2 hours. Do check on the dash though. Some of these we are running some ASE instead of summer camps with like uplift or mainly uplift, I think. So if you have an uplift class, it's probably going to be just ASE. And so what they're doing is they're just going to run a lot of kids. I mean, not a lot. I think like 14 or 15 through each hour. And so you can just pick one recipe and do that same recipe again for if you're doing multiple hours. The 6 camp themes are kids cooking showdown, culinary boot camp. Culinary boot camp is basically our baking boot camp. We had some parents complain about um, because we're not using ovens, we shouldn't say baking, which I don't doesn't make sense to me entirely. But so that's why we changed it from baking boot camp to culinary boot camp. But it's essentially the baking part of it.
Hmm.
STEAM. So STEAM is stands for science, technology, engineering, art and math. So normally it's STEM, but ours is STEAM because we'll have a day for art. Global taste buds, farm to table, and cooks and books. So on the dash, though again there'll be the lesson plans and the themed camp chef handbooks. Those are going to be in the top right corner. I'll share the screen once we're done with this presentation and point out where this is on the dash, but it should be in the top right of your when you click on your camp by the documents section. Usually where you see the roster for ASC, that's where the handbooks will be. Um, Again, use the text hotline for any questions you have if you're running a few minutes behind. But again, with this camp being, we'd like you to at least try to be 30 minutes early, just at least for the first day to just get a sense of things, how they work. But then most likely, maybe you'll only have to be 15 minutes early on the camps going forward. Just getting a sense of the process and if you have to gather the kids anywhere or if they just meet there and just making sure you're comfortable with the location and et cetera. Shopping, you were to provide the groceries just like the school year, but you'll try to have a credit card. Try to get a credit card to you. Um, and then registration and tuition, this should not be an issue. Like either the venue is collecting payments, and then we're going to invoice them, or they pay us directly. But most of our venues are collecting money from the students, so you shouldn't have to deal with anything. So just direct them. You can direct them to me or the venue if there's a venue contact, but shouldn't be anything that you're concerned with. Again, arrival time, try to be there 30 minutes before. You know, again, if you're running late, it says campers start to arrive 15 to 20 minutes before camp. So again, it's just really learning the process of each school is different. So just trying to figure out the process. Most camps have an on-site contact that's listed on the dash. Please find them if you have any questions when you arrive. That will be your quickest response. But again, I'm always here if you need anything, just text me and then I can try to reach out if you can't find the contact. Rosters and absences, because campers are brought to camp by parents, you do not need to report absences. However, please still take attendance and let the hotline know if you have any additional students not on the roster. So anyone missing, it's okay. Maybe the first day, just it's always safer to start than to try to communicate with the on-site contact about any absences. But you don't need to reach out to me. But if there is a student not on your roster, then that's when you have to probably let me know, and then I can let the venue know, or also let the venue know. Allergy info is not always provided. I will try to do my best to get on top of this but you should be able to figure it out the first day. But that's actually good to know before the camp. So I'll try to work on this and make sure we have some sense of that. Usually we do. I think at the good schools we do, because I feel like that's a lot of to spend just without not knowing if you have gluten or dairy issues. But
Okay.
if I can't get those, I will let you know and then just go ahead and buy the alternatives. But I'm going to try to do my best to vet that out before the camp starts. Okay, you will pay for all the groceries with the company credit card and submit receipts. Again, we'll go through that on the dash where you can upload your receipts on the dash. Should be able to do it with your phone. Shouldn't be that hard. Camp supplies. We can and you should ideally try to leave your materials at the location so you don't have to bring them in and out. Confirm with the site where you can store all your camp supplies. Obviously, your groceries you want to keep cold if you need to. But sometimes they have refrigerators on site as well. So just let them out. You can ask them about that. We don't do any last class awards in the summer camp, so don't worry about doing those. Okay, so for the first theme, does anybody have any questions about all that so far?
No. Go ahead.
Do you know if parish allows us to use a refrigerator for the summer? Or will I have to just bring a cooler?
Trying to think. I don't remember a refrigerator there. I generally remember us bringing, we generally brought the groceries. So
Okay.
if you're in the art room, you're going to be on the Midway campus. We were in the art room on that. And so there wasn't a refrigerator in that room that I can recall.
Got it.
But you can't just leave. It's a big room. You can't just leave your supplies there. And
Okay.
so they should be okay. Okay. So our first theme is Kids Cooking Showdown. This is again inspired by the Cooking Network competitions. Think mystery ingredients, timed challenges, creative twists, with innovation that will, help them chop, mix, plate dishes. So again, this is probably for our older kids. The themes are Chopped Junior, Nailed It, Street Food, Great British Off, and Cutthroat Kitchen. They're in. I'll go through each theme again, but each camp rather in more detail a little later. But they've made some improvements this year that I think are really wonderful to all the camps. So culinary boot camp. Again, this is a baking theme. So you're going to be, using eggs, leavening agents, salt, butter, and oil, flour. Those are the 5 themes of each day. And so most likely you'll just need your eggs on those, but just you need to always double check. Farm to table. This is where campers explore the journey of plants from seed to harvest to table. They'll learn how fruits and veggies grow in the garden, and then how to turn those fresh ingredients into recipes. The 5 themes, the 5 daily themes are food and soil, food on canes plus vines, food on trees, food in pods, foods from flowers. You're going to have also a lot of coloring pages, so you have markers and then also you should have flyers that where the kids can color on each for most of those days. A cool kind of thing that I've noticed is we're giving you seeds and potting soil with like cups, and so I don't know if that's going to be you need to bring that inside, or if that can survive inside, or if you need to go outside. I'm guessing you need to go do it outside somewhere. So maybe we can try to coordinate with, if that's the case, we need to coordinate with the schools on kind of how or where we can kind of keep those outside. Or maybe it's just the kids taking it home with them and keeping it in sunlight. But I'm guessing it's probably better to keep it on school campus. Global Taste Buds. Again, this is where the kids explore the continents and dishes inspired by countries near and far. They're going to explore the stories, traditions, languages, and geography behind each recipe. The 5 themes are Europe, Germany and Italy, Asia, Vietnam and India, Americas, Brazil and the U.S., Africa and the Middle East, and Europe, France, and Poland. I did notice we have chopsticks this year, and then I've given you also little chopstick helper guides for each in case. But I don't know how well did you guys have good chopsticks technique? That is, I can go over it with you guys. Like, I don't think it's that hard, but maybe I'll do a separate video for that, or I'll just email you guys a video. But honestly, it's not that hard. It's literally like is putting pressure on this other hand, and then the tip of your thumb and this first index finger is guiding it. So one is sort of this is sort of keeping it solid, and then you use these 2 to kind of work the top chopstick. So I'll try to make a video maybe, or find you guys a good video, but it's not that hard. But okay. STEAM, we're doing science, technology, engineering, art, math, doing some chemical reactions, experiments. Should be really inventive and fun. Again, each day is a different letters. Science, technology, engineering, art, math. Cooks and books. This is pretty self-explanatory. 2 of the recipes should tie to a book, and then you read the book in the third hour. So you'll have 5 different books, 1 for each day. Bathroom rules. Always just check with your location on the bathroom. I will say the general rule is they want you to accompany them, and so you can't leave the kids behind. You have to just take the whole class and go to the bathroom. So you really want to make sure you can go to the bathroom, ideally on the way in or at the beginning of class, just to make sure that, but it is 3 hours too. So, event that might happen, and just, check with the rules with the school. But most likely, if in the absence of not knowing, I would just take everybody and go at the same time. If you're there by yourself, which is most likely you will be. We don't have any outside summer camps. Again, if you have some older kids, use the technique of helping using the older kids to help the younger kids, give them sort of the sous chef role. Um, you can print the handbooks out. I also have iPads. I should have given those to you guys too if you'd prefer that. So just let me know on the iPads. You guys have any questions? Okay.
No.
I think some people even use their phone. I can't remember if I just use my phone or the iPad.
I'm gonna try to take my laptop for this
Okay,
time.
that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
Printing is just a pain in the butt. Um, okay. Okay. So, do you guys have any other questions on that? Okay. So, I'm going to show you guys now in the dash. We'll go through each kind of theme. Um, okay. Do you guys see the dash now? Is that showing or no? No. Okay, let me hear it. Let's do that. How about let me know if you see the dash now? Okay. All right. So here's Kids Cooking Showdown. Okay. So this is the first one coming up. Christine's teaching this one. Um, you can see that it has 6 kids out of 12 enrolled. I actually I update those numbers so I can kind of look and see if that's changed. But you'll click on your camp. This will give you all the recipes for the entire week. But also in each day you see 2 different lesson plans. If you look over here on the right, you see the handbook, and then you see all of the recipes kind of aggregated together here in these documents. Okay. So let's click on Kids Chef Handbook, Cooking Showdown Chef Handbook. Okay. So here's the table of contents. It goes through each day, kind of the activities, the checklist for each day, and then the shopping list as well. So that's all consistent. And then it has suggested games and brain breaks. Those are going to actually be similar for a lot of the camps. Some camps have maybe a few different games, but generally a lot of them will be the same. Okay, so here's your sort of day one prep checklist. Review the recipes, check the roster for any allergies and dietary restrictions, ensure your kit's cleaned, bring your themed camp craft bag. So again, you'll have the bags that I gave you. One of them is sort of a camp theme or just a general summer camp bag. That has all of your supplies for your general supplies for all the camps. And then you also have themed camp craft bags. So however it is easier for you to organize if you want to keep them separately or if you want to try to consolidate, just know that if you consolidate, you'll need to kind of look and separate and divide again for the next camp. But there isn't a ton of stuff in the general theme camp. So another alternative might be to get a smaller bag for just the general supplies for all camps. Check the dash for any location specific information and details. I'll show you where that is again. Remember to check the attendance at the start of the camp. One thing that you're going to do in day one is you'll have little chef hats, and the kids can color put their name on the chef hat, and then kind of decorate the hat. The best thing to do is to collect that after each day. Use that as to check attendance, but also to help you learn their names, right? So it's a good way to just do it. I've never found that our name tags ever stay on. It's the worst. So I just don't even bother giving those. Something else you could do, I think some of you have index cards, and if you wanted to write a name and kind of make a little index card and collect those. But honestly, the hat should work as sort of a way to help you remember names and also take attendance once it's done on the first day, after it's done on the first day. And then have fun. Let me see. So day one is Chopped Junior. So, there's a trailer, but you can watch this trailer if you want each day with the campers to get them excited about the day. I guess you'd have to watch it on your laptop or I think the phone would be a little difficult for all the kids to see. And then it has the 2 recipes. Then there's the first activity is decorate your chef hat. Okay, and then this one you are given an index card, so then the kids have to write down the rest of the recipes, kind of summarize the recipes, and then gauge the campers, if it's an older group or not. Maybe they want to try to do the same thing for the second recipe. And then, you'll need the timer on your phone, or unless you have like a timer that's like one of those manual timers too. We didn't provide that manual timer for you. Let me see. Okay, and then we're also going to be doing the ABCs, our ABCs of cooking every day. So, ask an adult, beware blades and burners, clean your clappers, do it as a team, enjoy your food, and then have fun. So, this goes into a little more detail. Pass out the hats. At the end of the week, they can take the hats home, but, try to keep the hats for your attendance. Introduce a surprise ingredient. Again, it shouldn't be any different than the ASE. I know, Lauren, you still haven't had a lot of ASE experience yet, so this could be helpful to you again as a reminder. But ABC's surprise ingredient. Let's see. Give the kids extra. Okay, here's another activity. So it suggests activities along the way, and then just gauge your time. If you're running behind, maybe you can skip some of these activities, but allow them to get creative to how to plate the cupcakes. Then there's a play a game or do a brain break, and then you can start the second recipe. There's also an optional activity if you'd like to write the second recipe down as well on an index card, kind of summarize that. Eat, enjoy the meal, do the mealtime chatter, and clean up, collect the hats. So it doesn't have to be, I think what we're seeing here is it doesn't have to be recipe activity. It can be recipe activity, just kind of however you feel you want to manage it. And maybe, I guess the benefit of doing recipe on top of recipe is that it gives you more time to get the recipes done in case you're running behind. So let me see. Here's the shopping list for that day one only. The pantry, dairy, and then it gives you some substitutes in here as well. Items in blue are provided in your camp bag. Items in red are the allergy substitutions. Okay, camp day 2, kind of all the same stuff. Day 2 is going to be nailed it. So this nailed it is sort of where they compete to make elaborate cakes to win $10,000. Let me see. The winner of this challenge earns a special prize and gets to wear the coveted Golden Chef's hat. 2 hours to recreate it. In 3 minutes. Worse. So there's a trailer here. I don't think we gave you any kind of special prize. I don't know if you want to try to buy something like a chocolate to give them, go ahead and include that in the groceries. Let me see. So again, you're given index cards for them to write down their recipes. Let me see. This I think this is, I get what they're trying to say here, but I think that it's a little challenging to make it, the competition. I think at the end of the day, maybe you guys could vote on how how they look and how they taste if you wanted. You could, everybody kind of get it. I mean, the problem is you're gonna have to keep track of like each person's thing, and so that could also be a headache. So I'm okay with you guys just doing the recipes here and then having them try it. But and if there's time, they can try to plate it, and then if you want to try to vote on whose looks best plated. But it might be hard to sort of keep track of everybody's own dish given the size of the class. 6 kids, maybe you can do it. 12 kids can be a headache. Okay, so here's the shopping list and supplies. Day 3, same stuff again. They're doing street food this time. So, let me see. There's a food truck coloring page. There's another activity. Oh, this is for some reason I was thinking this is baking. It's because the last one was baking, but that's just the one recipe. But this is still the showdown. There is like that food truck competition, which I think that's what this is sort of trying to mimic. I don't think there's anything crazy on this one other than sort of the food truck. There's coloring page, food truck, and menu creation. So you can kind of have the kids come up with the theme of the food truck and a short little menu on what they serve on their food truck. Supplies. Okay, here's the Great British Bake Off. And that's on Netflix, I guess. I don't know. I have never seen that before. So you can kind of use some phrases from the show. On your mark, get set, bake. No soggy bottoms. Where contestants bring their bake up to be blind taste tested, the gingham altar, and then Hollywood handshake, a moment of honor to say well done. So the activities are the whipped cream race. So I don't know. We've actually done this. I mean, a cheat if you ever making whipped cream is to use your immersion blender, but I brought jars before or containers and have them shake it and pass it around. And so you can have them split up into 2 teams and then they shake it like, 5 seconds, pass it over, and it will actually turn into whipped cream probably within, a few minutes, given how much they're shaking. But if you're still concerned about it and you're running out of time, just use your immersion blender and it will whip it up. There's the coloring page with British food terms. And I think those are the activities. You're doing a different English Yorkshire pudding and split pea soup and the London fog kid friendly tea. So there's the whipped cream race in more detail. It wants you to have a bowl or container with a lid, and a whisk. Again, I don't think you need the whisk. I think you can just shake it to get it there. The cream will taste better if you add a little bit of sugar to it. And then they can stand in a circle and take turns shaking it. Or you can make it a competition too. And then here is the last Cutthroat Kitchen, Food Network show. This is where they can actually sabotage each other. I don't know if you want to get into that. There's a game called Freeze Dance and then Cutthroat Kitchen Challenges. The Cutthroat Kitchen Challenges is actually kind of interesting. Let's see if it's on here. Here's the Freeze Dance game in a little more detail. You kind of just, maybe you get a Kids Bop. Be good to save some Kids Bop songs on your phone, maybe on Spotify or something. When the music is playing, you can cook, build, mix, and create. When the music stops, you must freeze your body completely. No stirring, no reaching, no sneaky little finger wiggles. So, this is one where you'll have to feel comfortable kind of having the kids on their own, and you're able to handle the music. Or just whenever you're also working a little bit and they're working, then you can kind of just mix it in a little bit, and then you can do a quick practice round before the recipe begins, and then you can say at any time, if I stop the music, you guys have to freeze. So let me see, just do it every few minutes maybe, and do it less if you're running behind. Um, so here's all the brain games, and a lot of these again are like, um, they're games that you can do for every camp. Most of them, like this is a timed wipe, so everybody gets a once you're cleaning, everybody gets a wipe, and it's whoever can get the dirtiest wipe within some amount of time wins. Um, here's some other name introduction. Have the campers tell their name and make the shape of their favorite food. Um, Everyone in the circle can copy the movement. Go through all these. It's probably helpful to sort of go through and pick which ones you like more than others. I do want to say, I thought that there was a page of challenges. But maybe I'm confusing it with a different camp. Cutthroat kitchen challenges. I'll double check on that, but I swear I was looking at. Oh, you know where it is. It is a printed handout. So in the kind of with the coloring pages that you're given in your book, there's a printed handout that gives you cutthroat challenges. So you can kind of take a look at that and see if you have any questions on that. Hopefully, I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but let me know if any questions. Any questions on this theme camp? No? Okay. Let me see. The next one is Cooks and Books. I'll just show you the recipe download real quick. But again, all of this is just going to be our ASCs summarized. Like really just stacked on top of each other, not even summarized. So it should be like 10 of the ASCs lesson plans all together. Okay, here's the handbook for Cooks and Books. So again, with the Cooks and Books, you're probably dealing with younger kids. So just keep that in mind. Before reading, ask campers questions that can help them relate to the text in some way or tell a story about their lives. Hold up 5 fingers. What do you know about this book? What's important for everyone to know before we read? And put down a finger each time a camper shares something important about the background of the story. Ask a question that relates to the story and take a hand raise poll. During reading, you point out words that you think campers might be unfamiliar with or keywords that seem important and review the meaning briefly. Invite campers to predict what's going to happen next. If there's a loud noise, such as a bang or a funny thing a character says, have the camper say it out loud with you. You can also add motion to this and sound effects. Try reading the characters' lines in a fun, unique way to make them come alive. When you want campers to listen and focus on something, whisper. If you want the campers to get excited, build the volume of your voice. If there's a child who loves to read, let them read a page to the group. After reading, ask the campers what their favorite part was. Ask campers if reading ever made them feel a certain emotion and what part, and then have the campers give a thumbs up, thumbs sideways, or thumbs down for how much they enjoyed the story. Okay, so again, all this is the same sort of camp checklist as it is for all the summer camps. Here is the 2 recipes. Well, it doesn't give you the recipe, it just gives you the names of the recipes here. Again, we're decorating the chef hats. First day, that's going to be the same on every theme camp. And then it gives you the book that we're reading today. And then there's also a kitchen tool word search, which is sort of like a crossword puzzle that you're highlighting kitchen tools. And there should be an answer key as well. So this is, let me see, this is sort of saying read the book first, which I think you can do the recipes first and then the book, but also it's however you think you want to do it. Yeah, I think you can do it both ways, but I guess let's just try it for, since it's saying read the book first, you can read the book first, and then you do the ABCs of cooking, And then you start with the first recipe, surprise ingredient. Then it says the activity in between, which is the kitchen tool word search, where you could play an icebreaker, and then you make the second recipe. Again, and then meet the parents and guardians at designated pickup area or whatever the process is, just follow the process. Here's again the shopping list. Second book. Second book also has a coloring, probably with all these books, they're going to have coloring pages mirroring the books. So yeah, it's recommending that you read the book first, then you do the ABCs of cooking, brain break, and then second recipe. This one's pretty, I think, because you're doing the same activity each day. Really, there isn't a lot to go into detail on this one. Do you guys have any specific questions on this one? Okay. Pretty easy, hopefully, for this. That one thing was interesting about reading and how to get the kids more involved. I thought that was pretty cool. So, let's do global taste buds. That's the recipes. Again, each of these has a different area, countries. Each of them will have a coloring book, most likely tied to each of those countries. Day one, Europe, Germany, and Italy. This is the same page again as all of our themes. Decorate your hats on the first day. This one is connect the dots for Italy. That's what the coloring page is on that. And then there's also a world map. You can kind of color in the countries, and you kind of color in the countries as you go. That's kind of an interesting thing for this one, is that you'll bring that same page out every day. Again, making your hats, personalize them with markers. The first recipe will be, you can have them color Germany and Italy for the first time, then do the German apple streusel pancakes and the smoothies. Surprise ingredients, ABCs of cooking, complete the coloring page, and then you can do the second recipe. Day two, Vietnam and India, have them color Vietnam and India. There's also a chopstick relay race here for an activity. So I'm guessing you're going to, here's the detailed chopstick relay race. So, okay. So pom-poms are these little puffy things that you've been given. And you can divide the campers up into two teams, have them come up with a fun team name. They want to walk 10 feet and back, probably going to be carrying so you'll have a ball, you'll have a small empty bowl and another bowl with pom-poms. And so they're going to try to walk over, pick up the pom-poms with the chopsticks and bring them back over. And so you guys can kind of gauge how, I'm assuming all of them probably don't know how to use chopsticks. And so maybe just use the helper. It might be, especially if you don't know how to do chopsticks, it's probably going to be too hard to teach them. But if you do know how to teach chopsticks and you can give it a shot, if you think the kids are a little older and they can learn it, then do it. But otherwise, just use the little black thing that slides the chopsticks in place, and then just, don't spend too much time trying to get it perfect. If they're literally just holding the chopsticks and carrying a pom-pom, that's fun. They'll have fun doing that. Just make it, but whoever gets the pom-poms, all the pom-poms into the empty bowl wins first. There's also, save the chopsticks also for a later activity, the Ugandan bead activity. Brazil, United States is next. Brazilian collard greens. The cheese puffs too. We're gonna do those, and then American recipes: southern potatoes, sweet potato fritters, honey mustard dipping sauce, yogurt, and the peach tea slushies. All the same here. Yeah, let's see. Oh, this one has okay, so for Brazil, this is kind of cool. It has a carnival mask create. So you'll have glue, you'll have like little paper masks, and there's a string you'll have to attach to the masks. And then they can color the mask. There's also different things, feathers that they can glue onto the mask. So that's a fun activity for them. And then if there's time, do another activity. But maybe I like the idea of doing the designated activity, then doing the recipe, and then if there's time, another activity. But again, just sort of gauge how you're going. If the kids are going slower or not, then you can maybe try to save the activity for the end. But there's more detail on you'll have gems, you'll have markers, you'll have feathers, the masks, and glue to sort of decorate each mask. Here's some fun facts about Carnival. Again, depending on how old the kids are, they might appreciate that, knowing that. Africa and the Middle East is the fourth day for. Here's Ugandan paper beads is the activity, which we'll need the chopsticks for. Let me see. Show where Africa is on the globe, and then they can color the Africa in. Okay. And so here's 2 recipes, and then here's the Ugandan paper bead making competition. Oh, cool. Okay, you cut. Okay, you'll have string for necklace without papers and scissors. Trying to figure out where they use the chopstick. Instruct them to cut strips of paper that taper into a very long triangle at the widest. I like that. Wrap the paper with the chopstick until it's fully wrapped up. Ensure they can thread the string through the bead. Slide the bead off the chopstick and set it aside to dry. Continue wrapping beads and stringing them until the kids are happy with the amount of beads they have. Using one, okay. Still a little bit confused here. Let me see. So you cut the string and give each string to a camper. Then each camper has paper and scissors. And cut the strips of paper that taper into a very long triangle. Place 3/4 end of the triangle onto the chopstick and apply glue to the remainder of the paper. Then wrap the paper with the chopstick until it's fully wrapped up. Ensure the kids use chopsticks so they can thread the string through the bead. So I'm guessing the chopstick somehow helps with putting the beads on. It's a little bit weird to me. I'm gonna keep reading this and get back to you guys. I don't know if it makes sense to you guys. But I might also ask HQ if I'm still a little bit confused on this, and then I can try to help you guys more once I understand it. Day 5 is Europe and Poland. There's an activity doing Polish art. You're going to color again France and Poland in on the world map. Here's this. Oh, it's almost okay. So with Vichy Nanki Polish art, it looks like origami almost, right? So you do have origami papers. You'll have white coffee filter, I think is what they want you to use here. 2 round white coffee filters, pair of scissors, and you can kind of cut them in half and tell them to draw out their design and then cut it, and then you'll have your own. Or there's actually a separate origami exercise. So I guess that's just the coffee filter exercise. Take pictures of the finished designs if you have anything really cool. Anybody did. Okay. Day 5. Okay, that was it. That was day 5. Okay, so brain break. These again are the same activities. Rock, paper, scissors, morph 2. Okay. Just take a look. Yeah. All right. Any questions on that one? Other than how to use chopstick, I didn't understand that, but I'll try to figure that one out. Okay. Theme. Okay, day 1, very same. Day 2, you're going to have a coloring page, science. You're going to do a lemon volcano experiment, kind of a fuzzy explosion, and then you're also decorating the chef hats the first day. Here's the lemon volcano experiment. You cut a lemon, you add some fish coloring, some dish soap, and some baking soda, and it should explode like that. Fizzy eruptor. Now let's see what the baking soda does in our old-fashioned banana cupcakes. Okay. So that's where you say, okay, baking soda makes this explode, but it acts as a leavening agent, and when we bake, creating those same carbon dioxide bubbles. Okay, here's some questions. Ask them what kind of fruits are lemons. How do citrus fruits grow? And do you think a lemon or lime would make the biggest volcano explosion? Here's a video for reference. Um, Day 2 is going to be technology. You're designing your own kitchen tool rather. So again, do the recipe and then do the activity in between, I think is what they're saying. And then this one is, I think if it's the same as last year, you're basically given a spoon and you can decorate the spoon. And then you can also have the kids, if there's time, present their tool, kind of what it does. But here's all the things that you can use with making the tool. Scissors, foam, paper, glue, tape, pipe cleaners, plastic spoons, and toothpicks and rubber bands. So we had some pretty creative ones last year. And then day 3 is engineering. These are the spaghetti and marshmallow towers. So you're just going to give them spaghetti and marshmallows and ask them to make something for the activity. There's also a coloring page on engineering. We're doing the key lime donut whole recipe, and then corny veggie mac and cheese cups. But here's an example of the spaghetti marshmallow towers. And you try to balance stuff on it too if they're bored or if they want to try something. But it gives you questions to think about. Who can make the tallest tower? Who can make the most creative design? Who can make the strongest tower? But yeah, you'll need to. That's in the groceries. I didn't provide that. You'll need to buy the marshmallows and the noodles. Day 4 is art. We're making 3D paper apples. This is a new activity. I don't remember this one. Here's the 2 recipes. Activity 3D paper apples. So, this is where you use the origami paper. I think here's a tutorial video to watch if you're still a little in the dark. I imagine you're just cutting slices and then slicing them on each other. But that's really cool. Day 4, mathematics. Just a coloring page, ice cream math on this one. And then 2 recipes. Day 5 is... Oh, that was day 5. Okay, so here's frame breaks. Same thing. Let's see. We're going okay on time. One did we not do yet? Farm to table. Oops, wrong one. Okay, first day 1. Gingerbread, pear, carrot cake puff on a stick. That one we did, and I honestly felt the stick was kind of silly to have that, because it's literally like putting a cupcake on a stick, which doesn't work very well. So I think you can probably do without that one, but if you want to try, go ahead. Design the chef hats again, garden in a cup activity, fruit salad game, and coloring page orange foods. So this little garden in a cup activity is right here, and this is where you're given seeds, you're given soil, potting soil. You write the kids' names on the bottom of the cup. They can decorate with the markers as well. Fill each cup with potting soil. Hand 1 seed to the student with an index finger. Poke a hole into the middle. Plant the seed. Cover it. Water it. Okay, they are gonna take them home at the end of the week. I'm going to ask if this needs to be set outside or not. I'm not a gardening expert. I'm guessing it probably does, but I'll need to ask to see, unless you guys know off the top of your head if something can grow indoors or not.
Well, I guess it depends. Well, it shouldn't depend too much. You should be able to start seeds inside, even if they did like a larger seed starting kit. And then put the plastic on top, and it'll actually create like its own like greenhouse effect. so that the seedlings can grow.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you think it's okay, just leave them in the classroom.
Yeah, it'll be totally fine. Like if there's a window or something, maybe to give it a
Put it
little bit of
closer.
some. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, that's
that's
cool.
yeah.
Okay. I guess you probably need to water it every day too. But okay. Day two is um food on canes, vines, plus berries and tomatoes. Um, let's see. There's a strawberry picker game, a coloring page, and then design the best vine. Two recipes. Here is the design the best vine art contest. So, um, have the students line up on a counter or sit in a circle on a table or they're on their desk in groups of 3 to 4. Draw a wavy line across one paper per group and then give the paper to one camper per group. Tell the campers each will get to contribute to the group drawing. Have them add a leaf or berry or something and pass it to the next student. Shouldn't take more than 30 seconds each kid to draw something. And then at the end, you'll get to have the campers show off their artwork and have them describe what they drew. Kind of cool. Okay. Strawberry picker game is have a student stand in a circle. It may be useful to mark each person's space with a small piece of paper or tape or something. Strawberry pickers have less than 3 days to pick them before they are fully ripe. So they need to be aware of their surroundings. In this game, we will begin with each player silently switching places with one other person in the circle. Explain that when two people agree to swap spaces, they must both silently commit to completing the switch. I don't. This is like I'll read more of this game, but let me know if you have any questions on it. It seems like it's just sort of a I don't know what the game is that's similar to, but I'll read that and follow up. We're kind of running short on time here, guys. Cherries and avocados. Day three. Fruit finger painting is the activity, and there's a coloring page, and then there's also a game, fruit, vegetable, or grain. Two recipes. The fruit cherry fingerprinting is this you get cherries and you use the cherry juice to make paint on the paper. Um, Make sure you obviously wash their hands afterwards. They can use a green or brown marker after they put the cherry paint on there to finish off their artwork. Day four is beans and peas. Yoga poses, food yoga is pretty easy. It's self-explanatory. The kids like it. And this could be a regular activity you use too, is when the kids do, tell them to name a fruit or vegetable, and then they'll do a yoga pose that mirrors that. Coloring page, and then there's also rice and bean murals. Oh, that's cool. So we'll use rice and bean, and they can create an art piece of art. I guess they're not gluing it on there. They're just sort of putting something together, and then you can just clean it up or put it away. It's not take home activity. Photos are good. I guess we're not using glue for those rice or beans, so it's gonna be like just dissolve right away after you do it. Okay, game five is bees and honey. Optional activity is zucchini roses. Game is your choice on game. Um, oh, this is zucchini peel roses. That's really cool. So you just peel a vegetable peeler and you can kind of roll up the zucchini to make like roses. That probably goes in that goes in this maybe recipe, oatmeal. Maybe it may or may not apply to the recipe. I think this looks like it may not actually apply to the recipe. That's going to be different. You're probably shredding that into the cookie sandwiches. So this is just a separate activity, the zucchini roses. Okay. Let's see which one is left. Okay. I don't think we've done the baking one. So I think this is the last one. Day 1, baking is bouncing egg experiment. So you'll get a raw egg with white vinegar and then put it in there. And submerged kids will notice eggs bubbling on the egg surface with the vinegar. You may notice the eggs start to float. Leave the jar undisturbed for 48 hours. Over the time, the vinegar dissolves the shell, and we'll get to rinse the egg and see if it can bounce. I guess, oh, it's a raw egg. That's interesting. Okay, you'll notice the egg is really frothy and foamy and probably floating. 48 hours later, I guess the egg will be, you can bounce it. Day 2, growing glove is the activity, and there's a coloring page. You have 2 latex gloves, 1 baking soda, 2 tablespoons of baking soda, vinegar, rubber bands. You fill it up and then pinch it off, and then you can shake lightly and then see what happens with the glove. The glove could feel a little warm or cold. Make reaction. Day 3 is salt. Baking word search. That's probably like a crossword puzzle again. Salt activity is density. So you can put different things in different levels of salt water, and I think you're comparing it. Day 4 is activity is lava lamp, and the coloring page is butter. Directions for the lava lamp. Vegetable oil, water, fizzing tablets, Alka-Seltzers will be provided, and then food coloring. And so you'll need to have the containers. I don't know. I think you can. I've given the Ziploc 2 containers. I don't know if you guys can use those or not in that. Those look like glasses though. The glasses probably work better if you're okay bringing glasses to the camps, just so they'll be a little more clear. Day 5 is flour. This is the last day. Soapy Play-Doh, and then the coloring food page. So again, we're making Play-Doh with flour, cornstarch, water, and dish soap, and then they don't need it. Just play with it. Does that make sense, guys? Do you have any questions? Oh shoot. Let me run through the where to upload your receipts. Your receipts should be down here, invoices. Sorry, not invoices. Here, finance, receipts, and then let me see. Is that right? Let me get back to you guys on this. I can't remember where we do this. I'll send a separate email.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Where are we supposed to get the shirts from that have food? Where did you get your outfit from Sunday? Because I think you said that we're supposed to wear whether fruit inspired or
No, no,
just
no, no, no. You don't have to.
Oh, okay.
I've just started doing it more, and the headquarters has also kind of encouraged it, and the kids love it. But that
Okay.
said, I've done a lot of so many camps and so many without just wearing normal like clothing. Each school will have its own dress code, so you got to kind of be wary of that. I think some schools may want you to wear pants versus like shorts. I know it'll be a little hot, but just check in your notes about the school on those things.
Okay.
I think Garland's probably going to be more laid back.
Got it.
Any other questions, guys? Okay. Thanks. If you think of anything, let me know. And I will try to get back to you on a few of those things that I wasn't really clear on. All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Paul.
you.
Thank